Demetric Ramey.
My name's Lauren Arvin. I'm the wife of Archie Arvin.
Today's date, August 11th to 12th. Today we are going to focus on one particular man, Archie. On behalf of your late husband, I would like to thank you for doing this interview with us. Can you give us some information on Archie, how you guys meet?
How we met? Archie and I are originally both from Omaha, and Archie was already here in Sioux City, and I came up here to go to school. And he and Floyd Naylor were playing music at the KD Stockyard Station. And my friend came home from college one day and he says, "Well, you've got to come up and see Archie and Floyd play music." Yeah. And so we went up there, and the next thing I know, Archie and Floyd are sitting at our table because Julie had invited them. And Julie invited Floyd to dance, and so I certainly had to ask Archie to dance. And when I asked him, he said, "I thought you'd never ask." We were an item since then. We spent 25 years together.
Can you give some information on Archie? You said he was an instrument player. Can you give us some more information about that?
Yeah, Archie learned to play the piano when he was very young. His sister took the lessons, and he misunderstood his mom and thought that if he took lessons, he couldn't go out and play baseball. So he would sit and watch his sister play, and then he would sit down and play exactly what she played after her. And it used to make her really mad. And he called it his gift. And so he always he could sit down and he could hear something and put it together in an arrangement to sing.
Now you said he played baseball. Can you give us more on his athletic background?
He grew up always playing. In fact, his dad took him and his friend to Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha and told them that they were going to go see a pitcher. And they misunderstood his dad and said, well, that they were going to see a picture, and they really didn't want to go because they thought they were going to be inside. And they were totally delighted. He took them to the stadium to see Satchel Paige pitch. And that was during the time when Satchel would call all the players in when he was pitching, and yeah, he never forgot that. It was one of his good memories of his dad.
I see you have a book here. Would you like to share about that?
Oh, sure. This skinny little guy here is Archie. He started putting teams together when he was in junior high. He played in high school at South High School in Omaha. During that time, in the neighborhood that he grew up, he was around a whole lot of different kinds of people. He, everybody pretty much just kind of got along with one another. His first experiences as he got older was that he was drafted into the Army. And at the time that he was drafted into the Army, it was segregated. And so he was in Wichita, and they were going to be stationed at MacDill Air Force Base. And so when they traveled across the South, when they got to a certain point, the people in the train told everyone in the train to pull the shades down because they were afraid that someone might shoot at them as they traveled across the South. When he got to MacDill, he played on actually he was in charge of the recreation, but he played on the football. He played football, basketball, and baseball there, but this picture that I have is of the football team, and this is Archie here. But they won the Negro League Championship over Tuskegee at that time. This was in the early 40s. This was 1942. Because he was able to go, or because he went into the Army, which he didn't really like or didn't really want to do, but he went into the Army, that gave him the opportunity to go to school because he could get funding through the GI Bill, and that was the only way that he would have been able to go to school. he knew he didn't want to work. He worked in the packing house for a year before he went into the Army, and he knew he didn't want to do that for the rest of his life. And the good thing that turned out about that was when his sister saw that he could go to school or go to college, then she went and got her education. These are mostly pictures of Archie playing in college. When Archie graduated from college, he was not able to get a job in Omaha, Nebraska. And he had to go all the way down to Kansas City to get a teaching job. And so he spent 2 years in Kansas City. What he didn't tell me about it, he said he stayed at the Y, which is where all the musicians stayed. And what he didn't tell me at the time was that the Y was here, and the school he taught at was about 6 blocks away, and everything in between was the historic jazz district of, which wasn't historic at that time, the jazz district of Kansas City, of 18th and Vine. And so this picture, he played in a little house band down there, and that's where people would drop in to play with him. So this is Fats Domino here, when he dropped in to play with their little house band there. And then Archie left Omaha and he went to Spencer, Iowa. He and his friends, and they played music up there for a while. And these are marquee pictures that they took to send out to get jobs. Then he came here to Sioux City. He came to Sioux City in 1968, and that's when things were opening up, when jobs were opening up to black people. And he took a test here in Iowa to get a job with job service. And when the score came back, it came back 69 2/3, and the passing point was 70. And the questions on the test were questions that people would have only known if they worked at job service. And so, because he ran into that barrier, he went down to Des Moines. He was going to apply for a job there, and when people here found out that he was applying in Des Moines, then they went ahead and interviewed him, and he worked for child service for 23 years.
Now, if you don't ask me, mind me asking, you said he couldn't get a job in Omaha. Why was that?
That was because of his race. He just ran into, he made applications, but he just ran into, even one of the one of the principals that he applied to was somebody that he played football with on the team at Omaha U.
Now, how was his personality when he didn't get the job or couldn't get a job? Was he upset about it? Was he like, I'm gonna keep on going, trying? What was his, personality like?
Archie always said that if something bad happens to you, make something good happen out of it. And so when he ran into those barriers, he went around them and tried to
always
find
make
his way.
something good out of that situation.
And these are pictures of all the teams that he coached here for over 30 years. Kids here in the city.
So he was a big part of the community as well.
Oh, yeah. He had 3 seasons. He went from football to baseball to basketball.
So he stayed busy too.
Yeah. And he loved being with the kids and spent a lot of hours out on the field with them.